he's got to feel he's close. He's 6-0. He's relatively healthy. His offense has all the pieces it needs to win. Could there be a trend in the NFL going? Big Sales, National Football Show. Welcome aboard. Appreciate you stepping in. I've had this debate with Xander Krause about Justin Fields. I saw something last night. 33-14, they annihilated the New England Patriots. You know, there's franchise quarterbacks in the NFL like Patrick Mahomes, like Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. That's the new wave that's coming into the league. Traditional, right? Maybe Jalen Hurts is setting a trend. I think Matt Eberflus, the head coach of the of the Bears, has taken a page out of Nick Sirianni's playbook, and I think they're starting to coach him like Hurts. And they should. I think the problem in Chicago, they were trying to coach him as a drop-back quarterback. He's not. He wasn't that when he was at Ohio State. Did what you saw last night with Justin Fields, did that not remind you of Jalen Hurts last night? Maybe in Chicago, they're going to start doing something that they haven't done in 60 years. They're going to start coaching kids to their talents, especially at the quarterback position. I came away from that game going, I don't know, that looked like Jalen Hurts last night. Maybe Hurts and his style is going to start becoming a trend in the NFL. You're going to have your traditional drop back guys. You'll always have that. But now what Hurts is doing, you don't have to have 475 yards in passing offense. Balanced attack, great old. Now, you have to have great components around that style. Because the one thing in Chicago that they're still lacking, in my opinion, they're still lacking an offensive line. There's a lot of holes on that football team. Chicago has holes everywhere. Not really any big playmaker wide receivers, right? You don't see any playmakers out there. The running game is good. Maybe what they're doing now is taking a little bit of what they're seeing in Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts. And maybe what they're doing now is they're replicating what Jalen's doing and Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen and what they're doing with that offense. I agree with Xander. Chicago doesn't really have anything on that offense. There's nothing there. And he played really well last night. I was happy for the kid because I've been saying he's a bust. You know, it's the way they were coaching him that was more of a bust. You started coaching him like Jalen Hurts? I don't know. He looked pretty decent last night. He looked pretty decent last night. And that's the first step that and by the way, let's not forget something. He's a young quarterback going against Bill Belichick. That's a pretty good win for him. You know, you went against one of the best defensive minds in the NFL, and I thought he had a hell of a football game last night. Paul says now he's like Hurts. No, jackass. I said he's being coached like Hurts, and that was the result. Did you not hear what I said? Paul, you have to be sometimes the dumbest guy on the planet. I said they're coaching him, and they finally are doing something and not jamming a system down his throat. He looked like Hurts last night. Did he not? I don't know. Only person on the planet who saw that was Paul. What a toolbox. Seriously, dude. Then again, Paul, I like that you're here. Thank you. Good stuff, man. For Justin Fields, that was one of the first signs that I saw he really took control of a football game. Good for him, man, because every other game I've watched him play, he sucks. But that was something good. See, look at Paul here, man. He's learning. Only certain buttons, Paul. Not all of them. Only certain ones. Tell us about the Packers? We'll find out when they play your boy. Okay. Hey, by the way, congratulations to the city of Philadelphia embracing the Phillies and everything that's going on. You can't buy a hat in Philadelphia right now for the Phillies. I mean, that thing is just absolutely just taken off, and it's going to be a great story. I'm with Kurt Schilling, who was on with us yesterday. I got them winning in 7. I got the Phillies upsetting the Astros in 7. Oh, and Merrill Reese will join us too. That'll be at the bottom of this hour. We will get him in. Okay. So, how about the Eagles making a call for Christian McCaffrey? It's being reported that Howie Roseman wanted McCaffrey. Interesting. Probably a rental. But he made a call to Carolina, as did a few other teams. And this is according to Adam Schefter, not Big Sills. Adam Schefter reporting that the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman contacted Carolina on the availability of what the asking price would be for Christian McCaffrey. Wow. That tells me something else here, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute. How's that? It's not so much that you didn't land him, but it tells me where they're looking now. There's no question that Howie has called Cleveland for Kareem Hunt. Well, hey, wealthy? Yeah, for a fourth. How about this? CBS Sports is reporting it too, that the Eagles contacted Carolina. Adam Schefter reporting that Howie Roseman contacted Carolina. This ain't me saying this. These are your boys saying this. That he wanted to try to bring McCaffrey into Philadelphia. What? I brought that up a week ago. You guys thought I was crazy. Howie made a call for Christian McCaffrey. Because we know everyone at the NovaCare Center watches. Howie was just sniffing around. Then why is he calling Cleveland for Kareem Hunt? Why is he calling for Kareem Hunt? Because Hurts cannot be our goal line back forever. That's Xander. Correct. Can you imagine if you had what they have in Dallas with Kareem Hunt and Miles Sanders in the backfield? The Eagles will go undefeated. The Eagles will go undefeated if they land Kareem Hunt. Still sniffing? Why would you call one team and then another team about the availability of a back? They've called Cleveland. I have it under great authority, not just the reports that are out there, but I have friends inside that organization that I've known for 35 years. That the Philadelphia Eagles have contacted Andrew Berry about the possibility. Gee, Andrew Berry and Howie Roseman, is there a good relationship there? On what it would cost for Kareem Hunt. You think they're starting to look at what 2017 was with a die and LeGarrette Blount? And you put a tandem backfield together? It'd be one of the best red zone offenses in the league. Question is now, what would you give up for him? What would you give up for Kareem Hunt? Let's take a look at what he's done. What would you give up for him? I think Kareem Hunt is a very talented back. I think Kareem Hunt is a good football player. Kareem Hunt stats. Now we know this. He has been sharing the last couple years the backfield with Nick Chubb. Let's not forget something also. It was John Dorsey that brought him in. It wasn't Andrew Berry. Dorsey knew him, of course, from Kansas City when he ran Kansas City. Here is Kareem Hunt's statistics over the last. In 2017, his first year in the league, by the way, he was 21 then. He led the National Football League in rushing. 13-27, 8 touchdowns. He had 53 catches for 455 and 3 touchdowns. That's pretty productive. 1782 in total yards. 834, 179. That's a suspension. Back to 841. 387. I mean, make no mistake about it, this kid's a very talented guy. What would you give up for him? Hurts is solid, though. I would give up a third and a box of cannolis. I like it. I like the cannolis. No. Leave the third, grab the cannolis. Thank you. That's not bad. He did really great in Andy Reid's system. He really did. Third and a fifth. Would you give up a third and a fifth? Sills, would they really realistically want him? I think so. I think he could change the dynamic. You would be taking more heat off of dude, get this. Don't you guys see this? Don't you guys see this if you added Kareem Hunt to the mix in the backfield? Imagine what Jalen Hurts' third downs would look like, even more powerful if you had threats with Miles Sanders and Kareem Hunt running the ball. On third down, get this, Sanders running the ball, Hurts running the ball. His amount of carries would go down, but his effectiveness on third down running would be bigger. What you're trying to do is have impactful runs for him. You don't want him carrying the ball 15 times a game. And I'm not saying he's carrying it 15 times a game, but we've seen multiple games where he's been over 10 carries. That's not something you want or something that will last. You add him to that mix, his third down rushing becomes more effective, in my opinion, and his yards per carry become even more dangerous in open field. Do you agree? Kareem Hunt is no. Jay Adai. Bro, I think he is. I think you're wrong. I think he's really a good back. Realistically, I think they're well, here. Sean, they made a call for McCaffrey. Now they're making a call for – he's in the market for a running back right now. He's clearly looking for another running back. He's called 2 teams. November 1 is next week. He's made a call. Here's what I would give up. Man, the third rounder is a big pick. I'd have to give a conditional third round. Like if he was impactful. Then if it wasn't impactful, I would have to say it's a 4th rounder. I would have conditional picks on this because you've got to get production. You can't do this. Now, I don't know if Cleveland would go for a conditional pick because there's going to be other teams out there that are going to be vying. Boy, the Rams have to be, but I don't know what the Rams have. And I don't even know if the Rams have any cap space to try to bring a guy like that in. So I think the Rams are wedged up against the cap, and I don't know what kind of assets you would give. I mean, would you, if you're the Jets, bring him in? If you're the Dolphins, would you add that to the mix? If you're the Bucs have to be looking at Kareem Hunt. They've got to be looking because they've got to get that running game going. I think the Bucs are more in the market for a offensive tackle, Andre Dillard, but the Bucs are not going to get any kind of response from Philadelphia on helping them because they're all in the mix right now to try to maybe make it and play in the playoffs. They may be facing one another. Eagles aren't going to help the Bucs out right now. In-season trades are a little tricky. I would like Kareem Hunt along with a DE. Ronald, I don't think it's going to be that productive of a trading deadline for Philly. But you've got to feel right now, Howie Roseman feels he's close. How about this? He's got to feel he's closer now to a Super Bowl than he did when he was in 17. So he may push some of his chips in that he has with all those draft choices that he has next year. He feels he's close because you know why? Look at the NFC right now. There is I got Big Sil's Power 10 football teams. I got to tell you, man, it's a struggle to find NFC teams that are competitive. Today, it may change in a month. I don't know. But right now, Seattle? Really? I mean, I have a hard time with that. He's got to feel he's close. He's 6-0. He's relatively healthy. His offense has all the pieces it needs to win. His defense, he does need more of a pass rusher. But guys, Kareem Hunt could be the thing that tips it over and puts you in the Super Bowl for sure. This is the first year I don't fear Tom Brady. Philly, I don't fear him in a regular season ball game, but I would in the playoffs. Without CMC, the Panthers ran for 160 yards versus the Bucs. I hear you, man. I don't know what happened to Todd Bowles' defense. Dallas just picked up the Raider defensive tackle. They did. They got better and stouter up front. I want a second tight end. Richie, that makes no sense. I understand the depth. I get it. You're right. That's something you address in the offseason. Boy, Kareem Hunt, Howie's in the market right now. He's picking the phone up and he's contacting teams for a running back. Kareem Hunt's number one on his list right now. Christian McCaffrey, dude, that was a real thing. Howie didn't feel comfortable giving up the assets on what they gave up. That's why he didn't make the deal. Probably the money too. But he was still in the mix, according to Adam Schefter. That's pretty amazing. This guy was all in. Let me get to the next topic now. What does that tell you in the status of the future of Jalen Hurts now that Howie's out making calls for Christian McCaffrey and Kareem Hunt? Isn't this now more you're feeling that the organization is going to continue to put assets around Jalen Hurts? Boy, I'll tell you. I mean, you're going to get McCaffrey. That was not going to be cheap. $20 million a year, probably a third-round draft choice Howie was going to surrender, maybe a 2. I know he's injured. I get it. Still made the call. What does that tell you about the future of Hurts now? Okay? Nah, Richie, nothing to do with the contract. I'm talking about how they see the kid now. Contract talk, I'm not talking that. I'm talking how they see him. I'm not bringing up numbers here. I'm talking, don't you feel if he's after Christian McCaffrey and Kareem Hunt, is he still doing what John McMullen and I said a couple months ago, building the team for someone else? I don't know. Sure doesn't seem it. Have they bought it? Sure seems it. I was kind of floored with some of you that the Eagles made a call for Christian McCaffrey. I agree with Sander. Constantly hurt. Give him 4 weeks before he's banged up in San Francisco. Still. Some of you say sniffing. Why would you sniff around for a guy if you're not looking at pushing your chips in a little bit, knowing that you're right here at the threshold of potentially winning the NFC? Dallas ain't catching you. Much as I prod you, Dallas ain't catching you. They're not catching you. Shit, man. Hey, by the way, watch this. What week do you think it's going to be until the Eagles have a loss? 10, 11, 12, 13? Do you rest your players at the end of the year to have your guys healthy going in, give them an extra week because you may get the bye because you have home field advantage? I'd rather have home field advantage and an extra week of rest than going undefeated, I think. I got to tell you, man, how I read that and how I read his actions, more so than what they're saying, is that the Eagles now, man, they're totally buying into Jalen. Those first two draft choices next year are not going to be used on a quarterback. They are not, unless the world falls in on Jalen Hurts. There is no way the Philadelphia Eagles are drafting a quarterback in 2023, and I will say that with conviction. There is no way they're drafting a quarterback now. I can't believe. I thought we'd have to wait to the end of the year to say that, but on October 25th, there is absolutely no way the Eagles are drafting a quarterback in next year's draft. Again, this thing would have to unravel incredibly as we saw them play as good as they did in the first 6 games for that to happen, and I don't see that happen. Do you? I think Titans may be the upset. Ronald goes, I can't see one. Ronald, I can't see one either unless there's injury somewhere. JM, Steelers, they beat the Bucs, but dude, that offense doesn't scare me. The Steelers have shitty offensive football players. Andrew says, you're seeing what the market will bear. Is this difficult, Dan? No. But what I'm seeing is Howie's actions right now telling me that there's no way they're using those first 2 picks next year on a quarterback. Absolutely no way. O-line, edge rusher, maybe a position they can't re-sign, maybe another DT. I don't know. There's no way. By the way, what's that pick now with the Saints? Can somebody tell me the update on what the Saints pick is? The traditional pocket pass are not doing well this year. Really? I think Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow are doing just fine. I think they're okay. It's not happening until the 4th round. I agree, Ronald. I think they'll draft a quarterback, but I don't think the Eagles are going to use their first 3 picks. It's still at number 4 right now. Bro, you got the 4th pick in the draft next year, and you got the 32nd pick as of right now. Man, you could take that 32nd pick or that 4th pick, say Will Anderson's gone, and you could take that 4th pick, trade down, get alignment somewhere down in the 10s and 11s and have 3 number 1s next year. Dude, you're in the top 5. Do you know what that means when you're in the top 5? That means you can parlay that pick into multiple first rounders. Howie's got to be looking at that 4th pick. If it ain't Anderson, I'm trading out of that bitch. And you're afforded that because you bought Jalen. You bought it. Christian McCaffrey, Kareem Hunt, before the trading deadline, Howie Roseman's tea leaves, I'm reading them. He sold on Jalen Hurts. He is. I think this organization is now sold on Jalen Hurts, and I'll tell you why one more time why. If you're calling the Carolina Panthers for Christian McCaffrey, according to Adam Schefter, and you're hearing people from CBS Sports saying that the Eagles contacted Carolina for Christian McCaffrey, and now they've contacted Philadelphia's contacted Cleveland and Andrew Berry for the potential of Kareem Hunt. This is not me reporting it. These are CBS and Adam Schefter are saying this. They're bought into Jalen. Those 2 number 1 picks next year are not being used on a quarterback.